perfect base. I'm going all the way from moisturiser right until powder, and I hope this gives you a few ideas of how to get the perfect base for your skin type. I'm going to show you 3 different moisturisers I use depending on what my skin is looking like. So if my skin is looking a bit dull, if I haven't had enough sleep, I will use the Anatomical's Glow Quick Glow, and this is a brightening face cream. It's got a little bit of shimmer on it, I'll show you on the back of my hand, which makes it look really nice just on top of a matte foundation. It's just got a tiny bit of shimmer you can see in the sun. So this is perfect if it's just you need a bit more life in your skin, and I really like wearing this on hot, cold days in the winter. And then if my skin is looking a bit spotty or a bit red, I tend to use the Daily Calming Facial Lotion from Palmer's, and this just reduces the redness and irritated skin, and it's just really lightweight so it doesn't irritate any more spots. And then if my skin is just looking completely normal, which is rare, I will use the No. 7 Essential Moisture Day Cream, and this is hyperallergenic, and I use the tiniest bit of this, and then it just goes a really long way, and it's just a nice lightweight moisturiser underneath your foundation. Today I'm going to use the Daily Calming Facial Lotion just because I've got a few little spots just on my forehead and on my nose, and I was out in the sun yesterday, so I just want to calm that down a little bit. Need a really light coating of this because you don't want to clog up your pores before your foundation. If you have really oily skin, I would suggest using a primer to keep your foundation in place. This is the 17 Photo Flawless Skin Primer, and I'm currently trying out a few different primers, and I haven't found one I love best yet. There are some silicone based primers and there are also some water based primers, so it's really deciding on what's best for you. So now I've applied that to my face, I'm now going to go into foundations. I've got 3 here that are my favourite foundations, and they're for different times of year and what my skin is looking like. So the first one is a tinted moisturiser, and this is from No. 7. This is what I will use if my skin is looking really nice, and usually in the summer because it's very light coverage. The next one is the Wake Me Up foundation, and this is one I use in the winter because it really wakes up your skin and just brightens it up when it's looking really dull in the winter times. And the final one is the Match Perfection one, and this is again from Rimmel. I'm really loving Rimmel foundations at the moment. So this is the one I'm going to use now, and this has kind of a medium to full coverage and you can really build it up. And I love this foundation just because it's not shimmery, it kind of goes on your face, and when you put it straight on, it's not that great, but once it really settles down into your skin, it looks really nice. I'm just going to put a few pumps on the back of my hand. And then the brush I use for this is the Real Techniques buffing brush. This is a really nice one because it just really buffs it into your skin like it says. So I start in the middle of my face, mainly focusing on my T-zone, and then I just blend it right out into my cheeks. Kind of use circular motions to just get it into the best coverage I can. Now I have buffed all my foundation in, I'm now going to talk about 3 different concealers that I use. The first one is a W7 Camouflage Kit, and I got this from Amazon. I will leave the link below. It might have been eBay, I can't remember. And I use this colour right here. It is kind of a peachy toned concealer, and it's perfect if you've kind of got darkness under your eyes because the peach counteracts the blueness that might be under your eyes. And then if I don't have much blue but I still have a bit of bags under my eyes, I'll use the Match Perfection concealer because this is a 2-in-1 concealer and highlighter, and it will brighten up all of under your eye area and make you look much more awake. And then on my spots I use the famous Collection, don't look at this because it looks really grubby and all the writing's come off, but it's the Collection concealer that everyone raves about. So right now I think I'm going to use the Match Perfection concealer under my eyes. Just going to dot it on with the applicator. Like so. I take it all the way up into the cheekbones to highlight that area too. And then while I wait for that to go tacky, I will use my Collection concealer just on my little spots here. Like that. It's a really nice look. And then I'm going to use a Fan Cotton two-sided brush that I got for Christmas in a set, and I'm going to use the thicker side just to blend in that concealer. Use a really light hand just to go over them and just blend it in the area that you want it to go in. And then I just take my finger for my under eye concealer just to blend it in a tiny bit. And then I will use my Rio Techniques. This is meant to be a pointed foundation brush, but I use it actually for my concealer just to push it in underneath my eye. This just makes it kind of set in place. And you'll see later I use it again just to set my concealer into place with some powder. I always feel like the perfect base is never complete just with a tiny bit of contouring. Even if you have the perfect cheekbones ever, I feel like just a tiny bit of bronzer just underneath will just make them really pop. So the one I'm using is the NYC Smooth Skin Bronzing Face Powder, and it's in the shade Sunny. I love this shade because it's not too orange and it's not too muddy, so it just kind of works perfectly underneath your cheekbones. And I'm using the contour brush from Rio Techniques. The next step I sometimes do is highlight the tops of my cheekbones and under my brow. I have two go-to highlighters for this. One is a powder one, and this is by Smashbox, and it looks like this. And the other one is a creamy one, and it's from Collection, and it's this one here. I'll swatch them side by side so you know why I sometimes don't use the powder one. You can see the powder one is really shimmery, and under the sunlight here it will just look too much and it will look really glittery. Whereas the creamy one looks much better under the sunlight and doesn't look too glittery. So the creamy one is usually for summer and the powder one is usually for winter. Because the sun is out, I'm going to use a tiny bit just of the creamy one. Just on the tops of my cheekbones, where the sun naturally hits it, just here. And just under the brow bone. And blend them in with a different finger. I then again have two go-to blushes for kind of different times of the month or what I'm feeling like. The first one is from this Elizabeth Arden palette, and I believe it's called Sugar Plum. Let me just check. Yeah, and it's this colour right here. I'll swatch it for you. It's kind of a purple tone, pinky tone brown. It's kind of a really weird colour, but it looks really nice on the cheeks. And then the other one is from the duo that I just showed you, and it's a cream blush, and it's called Peaches and Cream. And it's kind of an orange tone blush, like that. I have chosen today to use the cream blush just because it kind of goes with the highlighter because it came in the same duo and because the sun is out. I just like cream blushes at the moment. So I kind of go from just above the apples of my cheek to just below where I put the highlighter. And I kind of just dab it on, like so. Don't leave it like that, don't worry. I then use my stippling brush from Rio Techniques just to stipple that in. If you prefer the dewy look, then you can stay like this, but because I have really oily skin, I prefer to powder. My three powder tools are the Natural Collection Loose Powder in Translucent, the foundation brush that I used for my concealer earlier, and a big fluffy powder brush from Avon. First of all, I'm going to use the tiny foundation brush just to pat it in the lid and go under my eye. This will really lock in your concealer and stop it from moving around. You don't want it to. I'm now going to use my big fluffy brush, literally dab it in, pat it off, just swirl it around my face. Mainly focusing on my T-zone area, because that's the bit you don't want to look shiny, especially in photos. Thank you so much for watching my how to get the perfect base video. I really hope it helped you in what kind of products to use for your skin type and what order I do my base. Thank you for watching. Leave any comments below, all my links will be below, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks!